Hey YouTube, it's BudgetBugout. Well, I've been doing YouTube for a little over a year now, and it seems that my most popular videos are either zombie related or knife related. So today I'm going to combine those two and talk about what I think are the best 5 folding knives for the zombie apocalypse. But they can also be used for tactical purposes, for law enforcement and military, as well as self-defense purposes for civilians, as long as they obey their local knife laws, of course. Okay, so we've all heard the zombie survival experts talk about the need for either a katana or a machete, a K-bar, survival knives, boot knives, neck knives, multi-tools, Swiss Army knives, but even the zombie survival guide neglects to talk about something as simple or as practical as the tactical folding knife as a last line of resort against a zombie. And zombies, they can be used as either as a metaphor for personal defense or law enforcement, or or as someone who is on drugs, or even the undead. So whatever it is that you would want a tactical folding knife for, just stay tuned, and I'm going to talk to you about what I think the 5 best ones out there are. So without further ado, here we go, the 5 best tactical folding knives. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So I'm going to be talking about 5 different knives, like I said, and then these are going to be knives at different price points. So the one that you see in front of you is around $30. There's also knives on the table that are around $50, $70, $100, and then $200. It just depends on where you find these different knives. Different websites have them for different prices. Speaking of which, I'm also going to include a link to not only all of these knives, but also to a website known as knifehog.com, which has a good discount code for my subscribers. So for those of you who want a little bit better of a deal on knives, be sure to check that out. They're going to be sending me knives because it allows me to do things I wouldn't normally be able to do. Anyway, so with that said, I'm going to talk about the 5 different knives. The first one is the Kershaw Emerson, or maybe it's the Emerson Kershaw, the CQC 7K. Now this knife won the Blade Show's Best Buy of the Year, and that was this year, so just not too many months ago. This is 2014 is when I'm filming this. Great knife. This was designed by Emerson and made by Kershaw. Emerson's known for making $200 knives, sometimes cheaper, but a lot of the knives are a little bit pricey for most people. So this is a great budget option for that. I like opening it with the flick method, but you can also open it with your thumb as well, or you can open it by using a wrist flick, which all of these knives, with the exception of one, is recommended to use that way. So that's just so that you have muscle memory built up, so you can open these knives easy. But this knife also has what's called an Emerson wave, or a wave opening feature, which just really helps you open the knife quickly and safely from pulling it out of your pocket. And I'll show you here. See how it just rapidly opens, and it's perfectly safe, but it's just it's just something that if you want to get your knife quickly for self-defense purposes, and once again, obey your local knife laws. I'm not going to be liable for you guys stabbing each other, but this is just a real quick, easy, safe way of doing that. But this is a frame lock design. And I'll leave like I said, all the details for all these knives in the description box. Has a I forget what this, a disc opener. Makes it real easy to open, and you can open it from either side, depending on how right or left-handed. You can open this, and you can position the pocket clip on either side. One thing that's pretty cool is also a lot of these knives, they have their own, or you're gonna have to buy different types of pivot openings, little Allen wrenches types of stuff. But this knife, and I think a lot of Emersons are like this, you can just use a flathead to open this knife. And you can adjust the torsion bar to make it easier to open, or maybe if you want it to be tighter, you can do that. But anyways, so this is the first knife. I don't want to dive too much into details just for time purposes. I would say good secondary knife. This would be the Spyderco Resilience. This is a Spyderco Persistence, but the Spyderco Resilience, it has the same design, but it has a longer blade length. So I'll leave links to that also in the description box below. But I really like the Persistence just for everyday carry types of use. And I'll show you how you can make this a little bit more tactical. My buddy did that with his Endura, which is the knife that's in the $50 price range. See how he put a little zip tie right here? You can do the same waving option that you can do with an Emerson knife. You can do that with the Spyderco, as long as you're carrying it tip down. Tip up. Tip up means that it's in your pocket like this, and then the tip of the knife is pointing upwards. But this is very lightweight for the size of this knife. This has FRN handles, which are bidirectional design as well. So it's pretty easy to grip. It's just a great knife. There's a lot of things that have already been said on this knife. Personally, I don't like to EDC too many big knives. I don't know. I'm real picky about which knives I EDC, and it doesn't always matter the blade size, but just for sanity purposes, a lot of times I'll EDC. EDC means everyday carry, by the way. I'll everyday carry a knife that's a little bit smaller, like the Spyderco Delica. So that'd be a good backup if you can't carry for whatever reason to work your bigger knives. You can be able to be able to carry something like this. Great knife. I wouldn't say it's too tactical, but in an emergency, any knife can be used in a tactical situation. And just some are just a lot more tactical than the others. Enter the Recon 1, made by Cold Steel. This knife has special sentimental value to me because it was the first knife that wasn't $30 or some sort of Gerber or Swiss Army knife. Those are all great knives to have for different purposes, but if you really want a good tactical knife that you might have to save up a little bit for, just depending how much you make, this knife is definitely one that you should consider at least. Has a tanto point just like the Emerson knife had. Strong. I should also mention, just because they have tanto point doesn't mean there aren't variations that don't have that point, that tanto point. I know that they're harder to sharpen, but they're also much better at piercing. So you just got kind of weigh your options. And it's nice to have lots of options. You can buy all 5 of them if you can afford it. These have taken me several months to afford, of course. But anyway, so this one has G10 handles, also pretty lightweight because there's no steel liners on the inside because the G10 is so strong. Speaking of things that are strong, the what's called what's a back lock, but it's called the triad lock. This is a very strong lockup. So the reason lockup's important is because if you're going to hard use a knife, which a lot of tactical knives are known for hard using, you want to make sure that if you're putting a lot of weight down, let's say you're putting a lot of weight down on your knife, you don't want the lockup mechanism to fail and then close on your fingers. You know what I mean? So this is a really great knife. The backup for that, I would say, would be the AK-47, also by Recon 1. They no longer make them in these access locks, but I'm actually kind of glad about that. I like access locks, but the ones, at least for the AK-47, just didn't seem very smooth, or at least consistent. Sometimes they close right away. Sometimes it took some convincing, and of course it's being real nice for me on camera right now, but yeah, it's not the knife that I was kind of hoping that it would be. But this one also has a waved feature as well, a waved design, so that you could open it up from your pocket. You just got to be careful. about knives like by Cold Steel that have this type of grip, because they can really tear up your pocket. So it's suggested that you sand down underneath this pocket clip. They also have newer knives that they're called Code 4 rather knives, and these the Code 4 ones have titanium, similar to this, at least in the texture anyways. It's nice and smooth finish instead of a G10 finish, so you're sacrificing the nice grippiness of the knife for more of an everyday carry type of handle. But anyways, so that is the Cold Steel Recon 1. The next knife, now I recommend that whenever it comes to higher end knives that you buy cheaper knives first, so that you can really appreciate when it comes to knives that are $100 or more. But this is the Paramilitary 2, and this knife really needs no introduction for those of you who watch a lot of knife videos or read a lot of knife magazines and those kind of things. This knife is one of the most in-demand production knives out there currently, and it has been for a long time. This knife is just made well. It's very light, it's very grippy without being overly grippy. It was really thought out for law enforcement and military. It has a real big hole here for whenever you have gloves on, it makes it easier to open. You can use it as a nice little tool right here. A lot of these knives need to, if they're going to be tactical, they can't. I say can't. It's better if they're not like a smooth handle, because your hand can slip, and you can cut your fingers pretty deeply if your hand slips on the handle. So it's good if it's going to be tactical to have a nice little grip, but this knife you can also choke up on it. So similar to what you can do with the Spyderco Sage 1, it's one of the best everyday carry knives out there. You can do that also with this tactical knife. So pretty cool stuff. You can also do that with some Cold Steel knives. So that the American Lawman is one of those, where it has a little finger groove. So these are tactical knives that you can use in everyday carry as well. So that's what makes some of these knives really special. So the Paramilitary 2 doesn't really weigh much, and real easy to clean pillar construction. I mean, it has very few moving parts. It has a a compression lock right here on the back. So this is the zero tolerance 0350. This would be the backup to that knife. This one is also around $100. Has a nice swedge here on the spine, and it has just really good, really comfortable knife. Mine is serrated edged, but you can get it plain edge if you don't like the serrated. I should say combo edge, because it does have a plain edge as well in addition to serrations. But I really like this knife a lot. It's not super light, but it's just, I don't know, it's just fun. It's just a fun knife. I really like this knife. The next knife, also quite a popular knife. This is the Zero Tolerance 0561, and this is a newer knife for me. Recently purchased this knife. Wow, what a knife. I never bought a knife so expensive before. I like investing in quality though, and in knives. I just like knives, so I take a monthly stipend and invest in my hobby. I'll also do that with gear too. And then I do little videos on it. As you can see. But knives I think are one of my passions, and this knife, look how buttery smooth it is. Just easily closes and just super smooth comes out. The Elmax has Elmax blade steel. I haven't really talked too much about all the different blade steels, but this is a premium steel, a super steel, and it's very sharp. It has a great blade design. All of them do. Really, all of them do. Another great reverse grip too. Just like all of these knives. I really like the fact that it really guards this flipper right here. I acts as a guard, so even further keeping your hand from slipping forward and cutting yourself on the blade right here. I don't even want to touch the blade or even get that close, to be honest, because this knife is really sharp. Real comfortable grip. It's not as grippy of a material on the blade handle. I kind of wish they would have went a little bit more grippy, especially since it's super smooth right here. So coming out of the pocket, it's a breeze. So it could have been a little bit more grippy, but it's fine. I haven't dropped this knife yet, so yeah, not too bad. And it also has a deep pocket carry as well, so it's very easy to easy to carry. It does take up a lot of room though in your pocket, and it's a big knife, just like the Recon One is, So you just gotta keep that kind of stuff in mind. That if you got keys in your pockets, I mean, this is going to rub up against it. But anyways, so I don't really have another backup knife to this. I don't really have too many $200 knives, but really any knife that you have, it can be used in a tactical situation. It's just that these knives, sorry, I'm trying to keep this in focus. These knives are great because of the length of the blade on these different knives. The tip of some of them are just really made for piercing. Now it's also important to note that you don't want to kill your attacker if you're using a self-defense, or even if you're using it in a police or military role. You want to stop the whatever it is that you're lashing out on. So also just keep that in mind. Now if it's a zombie, of course, well, I guess it's already dead, isn't it? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really thank you all for all your support. I really encourage you all to go out there, treat yourself. Get some good quality budget knives. Like these guys. Save up your money a little bit and get some even better knives. The knives have really, I don't want to say brought a lot of joy to my life. I don't want to be cheesy like that, but it really has. Owning something that's so I don't know, good quality is amazing. A lot of people, they spend money on cars or depreciating vehicles, and they spend a lot of money on their stereo systems, and that's great. A lot of people buy tattoos and stuff, and that's acceptable. I mean, that's their hobby, that's their passion. You can do that also with knives, and guess what? These knives are useful. They serve a purpose. So just keep that in mind. Don't be overly critical of anyone's hobbies. If people are critical of your hobbies, just kind of brush it aside. And then just smile real big whenever they ask to use your knife. All right, guys. Thanks again for everything. Y'all have a great day out there. And remember, it pays to be prepared. Take care. All of these knives are just great knives, and I use them all.